Hello and welcome back to CT's Corner. That's me, CT Shackleford. Welcome back to the revolution. Welcome back to the discussion. This week's discussion will be in honor of the 4th of July. I tried to do red, white, and blue. I don't know how successful I was. But at any rate, every year on the 4th of July, we celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence. In 1776, it was established that all men would be free. But are we really? Freedom of choice, to me, is the single most important freedom there is. And as a black woman, I look at my children, my life, with the realization that we have not always been able to have freedom of choice. I think back to generations before me when our children were born. They were taken away from their mothers and sold into a life of bondage. That's heavy. I was born in the beginning of the Civil Rights Movement, where we didn't have the right to vote, walk into the front door of an establishment, or drink from a water fountain as others. And although we were allowed an education, our resources were inferior. But it's not just black people who have felt the sting of subjugation. All people on some level or another have been historically oppressed because of gender, race, cultures, or stereotype. So no matter what prejudices our ancestors have had to endure, they have had to sacrifice ultimately so that we can have the freedom that we've been so blessed to have and maybe even take for granted. So having said that, I am not interested in handing over my freedom to choose to anyone other than myself. I will admit, though, that in relationships I have not always felt free. Because sometimes people's personalities can be so big and so strong that they can have a tendency of overwhelming the process of reciprocity within the relationships. But having a plus-size personality is not the only way to control a relationship. The other one is to bring baggage into it. Can you imagine how difficult it must be to be in a relationship with someone that judges you based on what someone else did to them? That's a very heavy burden to bear. And when we feel like we're being judged, we will erect 10 feet high walls so that no one can get in, and then we are no longer being free to be ourselves because we don't feel free. So freedom is not just about being able to be yourself. It's also about being true to yourself without fear of other people's perceptions and judgment of you. But whatever freedom is, it is not free. It costs, and the cost is responsibility. I am in control of and responsible for the life that I live. I am truly grateful for the sacrifices that were made for me to be here. Those sacrifices were paid for in suffering and lives lost. And I will not turn my back on those who sacrificed for me by being intentionally irresponsible with the freedoms that I take so much satisfaction in. So thank you for visiting this week, and don't forget to check me out on my website, ctscorner.com, and visit my blog site there. It's CT's Coffee Corner. Also check me out on Facebook. It's CT's Corner. So see you next week. Bye-bye for now. And Oprah, I hope you're listening. Call me. Bye-bye. Bye, Oprah.